The automotive industry is a gift, and we are all blessed to be a part of it. How many agree? We are all blessed to be a part of it. The automotive industry is a gift, and we are all blessed to be a part of it. So what that means is everyone in here agrees the automotive industry is a gift, and we are all blessed to be a part of it. See, we all woke up this morning, right? Yep. We all woke up this morning, air in our lungs, right, with a sound mind. We all woke up on the beach this morning in sunny Florida. We all woke up knowing that we were getting ready to go to a conference full of successful people. We all woke up and knew that we were all going to be around and get to network with people who are trying to level up like you and I, right? We are blessed. We are blessed to be a part of this thing. How many agree? You know it. Yeah. We are blessed to be a part of this thing. Now, we're going to talk about a few things today, okay? Now, this is the internet and BDC, and yup, I'm the F&I guy. I am the F&I guy representing in the internet and BDC, right? I'm the #1 F&I trader in the automotive industry. I am passionate about internet. I'm passionate about F&I, just like Sean Bradley and Dealer Synergy is passionate about internet and BDC, and Jonathan Dawson is passionate about showroom sales. I am passionate about F&I, so I came to represent. Come on. I came to represent. So, now, where's my clicker? Where's the clicker? Is there a clicker?
Yeah, it's right there. It's on the...
Somebody show me a clicker. Clicker.
Got it?
All right. How do I click? Just the arrow?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to click to, boom. Is that clicking? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So, now, the title is Grow Your Market Share Through Utilizing the Power of F&I. Grow your market share through utilizing the power of F&I. And the reason I chose that title, I was trying to come up with something, right? And you know, many presentations, you know, they got the 8 ways to do this, the 10 ways to do this, the 7 ways to do this. I was like, nah, listen, we're going to grow market share by utilizing the power of the F&I department. Because you show me the strength of the F&I department, and I'll show you the strength of the store. Show me the strongest F&I department in your market, and I will show you the strongest store in your market. How many agree? Yeah. The strongest F&I department equates to the strongest store, right? Now, this word right here, this is what I know. I don't care who you work for. I don't care what department you represent. I don't care where you're from. I know that we are all here to get this right here. How many agree? Yeah. This is what we're in the automotive industry for revenue. Will you agree? You know it. And some of us are getting it more than others. How many agree? Yeah. Now, your revenue that you're getting is a direct reflection of your skill set, who you know and your skill set, right? Revenue. This is what we're in the business to get. Now, every problem that you have, every problem that we all have is either a knowing problem or a doing problem, right? Yep. It's either a knowing or doing. Now, let me have a show of hands. How many of you in here run a store? How many of you in here run a store? Okay? A few of you. How many of you in here run a department? Some of you run a department. Awesome. And how many of you are in here are in the internet, BDC, or otherwise salesperson? Show of hands. So, we all know that we've all been in a position where we've had to manage departments or manage others, right? Yes? Yes. So we all know that every problem in a department or when you have employees is either a knowing problem or a doing problem. I was part of a team that ran the F&I department for 34 stores across 5 states. I had 11 of them here in Florida alone. I had 65 F&I managers that reported to me. And what I knew in managing these departments and these people is every problem that I had in either department, in either store, was either a knowing problem or a doing problem. That's what it all boils down to, okay? So, who is Shaka Dyson? Now, show of hands. Show of hands. How many people knew who Shaka Dyson was before I walked in here and got on stage? Come on. All right, quite a few, but not enough. So I take full responsibility for that now. My name is Shaka Dyson, right? I want you guys to repeat with me. My name is Shaka Dyson. Shaka Dyson. That's what I'm talking about. Come on with it. Now, I'm the founder and CEO of Dealer F&I University. So, I founded Dealer F&I University in 2016. It is now the #1 on-demand F&I trading platform in the automotive industry. I've got clients all in dealerships on this platform all over the country, in Canada and also Australia. Now, you got to think about getting that phone call from Australia like, hey, mate. And it kind of trips you out, right? Hey, mate. But it's the #1 on-demand F&I trading platform in the automotive industry. The F&I 20 group, raise your hand if you're a part of the F&I 20 group in here. Okay, some? Now, I'm going to invite all of you to become a member of the F&I 20 group. This is the largest F&I focused group on all of Facebook and all on automotive. There's almost 16,000 members, dealers, in this group. Now, this group is like the Millionaire Car Salesman group, okay? There's no vendors in there. You're not going to get product vendors in there. Love vendors. Don't get me wrong. Love vendors. But there's no product vendors in there. No one in this F&I 20 group is going to try to sell you key replacement, okay? It's all dealers. It's all networks. It's all dealers. Come on with it, Sean. That's what I'm talking about. I got a millionaire touching on me. How about that? Come on with it. Yeah. Automotive industry's a gift. Where else do you get that? However, so in the F&I 20 group, there's almost 16,000 members across the country. I invite all of you to become a part of it. Now, I wish that they had this around like when I was selling cars, right? When I was standing out front, taking ups in front of Hubel and Dodge. Now, I wish that they had something like this, but all I can see is all the stores up and down my street. How many of you guys been in here been in the automotive industry for 10 years or longer? Raise your hand. 10 years or longer. 15 years or longer. Keep them up. 20 years or longer, keep them up. 25 years or longer, keep them up. Wow, 30 years or longer, keep them up. Come on with it. So you guys see the type of expertise and experience that's in this room? This is what I'm talking about that is a gift. Where else can you go in the world and get this kind of knowledge, right, in one room? How many agree?
Amen.
Now, I'm the founder of the F&I Masterclass. This is a massive conference on Internet BDC. I also host one for the F&I Department. It's called the F&I Masterclass. I've had my first one in Indianapolis, second one in Dallas, third one will be in Atlanta. I've been in the automotive industry not quite 20 years, 19 years. Started off in Indianapolis, migrated down to Atlanta, then moved up to Chicago where I was the corporate F&I trainer for the Napleton Automotive Group, 34 stores across 5 states, 65 F&I managers that reported to me. And since I've left, they've gotten up over 50 stores, right? Now, I'm a national F&I trainer at ZSA and also, obviously, a motivational speaker. Now, this is where we're going to get into it a little bit because when I talked about motivation, right, I said, I'm motivated 100% of the time. And sometimes people say, Shaka, how you stay so motivated? Because it's easy for us to get negative. Would you agree?
That's right.
Inside of the store. It's easy to have a bad month. It's easy to get negative. Sometimes more often than not, depending on the store that you come from, right? People get in their little sessions and their little circles. They talk about how bad things are. Misery loves company, right? And if you find yourself having a problem, you find that every other person in your store has the same damn problem. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. So, my motivation comes from the adversity that I've been through. My motivation comes from the adversity that I've been through. The adversity. And I know that there's going to be many people in here who can agree with this. That you've been through challenges and hardships in your life. Right? Like no one in here came from having a silver spoon put in their mouth. Would you agree? Yep. Everybody in here has faced hardships, have faced challenges, have faced hurdles, walls. You had mountains to climb in order to get here. Yes?
Yep. Yes, that's right.
My motivation comes from the adversity that I've been through. My biological mother left me when I was 2 years old. I tell this story all the time. My biological mother left me when I was 2 years old. I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out of high school when I was 17 years old, and right after I dropped out of high school, I ran away from home. Went from Indianapolis to New York. Hopped on the Greyhound, was gone. Homeless at 17 years old. I then began my life at 18 in poverty, right? Because when you don't have that family background and you don't have the resource you scratching and you're clawing and you're making it on your own. And believe me, I wasn't always this person that's standing on the stage. I began my adult life in poverty. I had a child when I was 18 years old, who, by the way, is graduating from college this year. Come on, Wayne. Yeah. I had my child when I was 18 years old. So no biological mother in my life, high school dropout, living in poverty, child when I was 18 years old, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was wondering sometimes I was wondering how I was going to keep the lights on. Sometimes I was wondering how I was going to eat. Sometimes I was, listen to me, when you're poor, I don't know how many people in here can relate, but I know that some can. When you're poor, sometimes you're poor for so long that you become good at it. Wow. I became good at being poor. Wow. I became good at making $1 out of 15 cents. So, that's the reason why I say the automotive industry is a gift. Because it's when I got into the automotive industry, it's the first time that I ever met somebody that made 6 figures. When I started selling cars at Hubler Dodge in Indianapolis, Indiana, I remember talking to the salesman because I was scared. Right when I got into the car business, and first of all, when I got into the car business, I answered a classified ad. Now, some of y'all in here are too young to remember, but they used to post jobs in the newspaper called classified ads. So I answered a post that said, we're interviewing at Hubler Dodge this Tuesday and Wednesday, $45,000 first year, no experience necessary. I said 45 grand. $45,000, I'd be rich. I could pay my rent for 3 years on 45 grand, I'd be rich. So I left where I was, I went over there to interview and they hired me. No experience. I was like, really? Because when I used to walk past these dealerships, and notice I said walk because I used to drive Luckies that broke down all the time. So when I used to walk by these stores, I figured, man, these people that work inside these car dealerships with these $15,000 and $20,000 shiny cars, they gotta have college degrees. Because look at them, they're all dressed up, they're in suits, right? They look good, they all look professional, they all got desks, right? They all got on suits, ties, and business suits. I was like, they gotta have college degrees. So when I got the opportunity to sell cars and I finally met somebody who made $100,000, it was a wrap for me. I knew then that the automotive industry was a gift. I knew at that point in time that I had the opportunity to do something. I had the opportunity to make $100,000 because this dude who was in the next office from me is going to be doing the same thing that I'm doing, and he's already making $100 grand. I said, it's on. I said, it's on and popping now. If I'm going to do the same thing that you're going to be doing, and I have the opportunity to lift myself out of poverty, if I have the opportunity to take care of my little girl, if I have the opportunity to make something of myself, and all I got to do is put in the work, it's on. The automotive industry is a gift. How many agree?
Amen.
Amen.
The last time I was here, I told this story too. The last time I was here, I talked about the members of my family that have been killed, that have been murdered. I've had 5 people in my family that have been murdered. That was the last time. Since then, I had a little cousin who was killed the Thursday before Christmas. That makes 6 people in my family. 6 of my family members have been murdered. Right? 2 years ago, they found my dad's body in a puddle. My biological mother left me when I was 2 years old, so I was raised by my dad for 38 years. And they found his body in a pool of blood a couple of years ago. So when I talk about the adversity, it's the adversity that keeps me motivated, because I don't give a damn what problem you're going through. There's always people who have bigger issues, bigger challenges, bigger hardships that are going through in their life. There's always somebody who will trade places with you. How many agree?
Amen.
We are blessed. The automotive industry is a gift. Come on. So I would encourage everybody to stay fired up, to stay motivated, right? And know that it's a blessing. When you wake up in the morning, when you got breath in your body, when you wake up to a sound mind, when you have the ability to have a positive attitude, when you have the choice of whether you're going to have a bad day or a good day, be upset or be happy, listen to me. I'm going to encourage everybody to choose the high road, to be happy and take full advantage of a conference like this. Because I know that I am. You're going to see me in all of your faces. I'm going to be shaking hands and happy and whatnot, so don't think I'm crazy. I'm just taking advantage. Come on with it. Now, this, too bad he's not in the room, because this is one of my favorite sayings right here. You can make as much money as you can earn. Who's heard Sean say that before? You can make as much money as you can earn in this business. And this goes back to my point about being inside that dealership and learning and seeing a salesperson who made $100,000 a year. Because I was like, wow, I had never in real life met someone who made $100,000. Never in my life. I was like, wow, $100,000. You make $100,000? Like, my parents didn't even make that. I was like, wow, $100,000, right? So that was like the goal forever until I made that. But you can make as much money as you can earn. This goes back to what we all have always heard about the automotive industry. You get out of it what you
put into it.
You can make as much money as you can earn. I was like, so I always knew that. And then when he put it into this phrase, I was like, yep, you can make as much money as you can earn. I've been going all over the country telling people you can make as much money as you can earn. Now, every problem is either a knowing or a doing problem. So let's talk about what we know. Okay? We're going to talk about F&I right now. We're going to talk about what we know. Here's what we know. The new and used car profits are down. They're down year over year. This is new car and used car profits are trending down. Okay? Now, according to NADA, this is all the information I got from NADA, right? NADA shows dealer profits are eroding. Okay? It's harder to make money on the front end now. Some of you said that you've been in this business for 15 and 20 years, yes? So you remember the automotive industry before the internet. I've been in it 19, so I remember a little while before the internet, right? You were actually able to make some front end gross. Would you agree? Now you got the internet around, right? That's giving all the customers all the information. Right? So it's harder for you to get gross, potentially get gross on the front end. So the trend on the front end profits is going down. Now, in these graphs that you see, all of these include F&I. Okay? So for the last 3 years, front end profits have been trending down. New cars, used cars. Now, the only department that has been trending up is what? Fixed ops. How many of you in here have ever worked with fixed ops? Do you guys ever interact with fixed ops? You guys barely know anything about fixed ops, don't you? So customers, think about customers. If you guys barely know anything about fixed ops, think about your customers. They don't know that much about fixed ops, but they know how to come in your store and beat you down, right? So fixed ops department has been trending up. The net to profit, the net to gross, has been trending down year over year since 2015. Okay? Why? Why has this been occurring in our stores? Why aren't we able to hold gross on these deals now? Why? Because this isn't 20 years ago, guys. This isn't 20 years ago. This isn't 25 years ago. This is 30 years ago. There's a such thing called the internet. Too bad you weren't in here, Sean, because I got the little, it says you can make as much money as you can earn. Come on with it. Now, here's what the internet has brought to the table. The internet has brought transparency and competition. Would you agree? Yep. Transparency and competition. My man, Cars Direct. So, the easiest way to buy a car online. Like everybody's trying to move, this is like the trend, right? Everybody's trying to move in the direction of having your customers come and buy cars online. Some of these companies are even getting into the mix of bashing car dealerships. You guys ever seen those commercials? Right? So they're trying to move in a direction of getting your people to buy cars online, to bypass the car dealership, right? You see the salesperson standing out front, waving to the customer as they drive by in the car that they bought online, right? True Car, where you at? True Car. Get the true price, the actual price you will pay at the dealership. Now, True Car, you guys are some fantastic people because they drive traffic to our store. But the bottom line is that they got customers out there looking for the true price. Right? Check these people out, Carvana. Now, Carvana actually is encouraging your customers to buy a car from their couch. They're like, listen, don't even get up. You sit right there on your couch, finish watching Friends, and then buy you a car real quick. Right? So this is why it's hard for us to hold gross, right? Because no one's coming in. Well, they're trying to sway these customers to not come in your store anymore. Now, also, how many of you have been on YouTube before? Yeah. Everyone. Because it is the, wait a minute, hold on. Let me ask that question again, because it's like 7 people raising hand. How many of you have been on YouTube before? And there we go, that looks better. They're like, me. So, if you go on YouTube and you put in there, how to beat a car dealership, there's 1.6 million responses. So if you go on YouTube today, you're going to get, if you put in how to beat a car dealership, there's 1.6 million responses. And we wonder, why can't we have furniture gross? Why is it so hard? Because Carvana wants you to buy them from a couch. And then we got all these YouTube videos talking about how these customers can come in and beat you. Now, before a customer ever gets to your store, do they go on YouTube? Do they do their research, yes or no? Yes. So when they go on YouTube and they do their research about how to beat a car dealership, how to get the best deal on the car, what does Carvana say, because I want to buy one from my couch, this is what's coming up. Has anybody ever tried this before? Because if not, you should. Because all of you should know what your competition is doing. Would you agree? Yes. Because this is about eating up your market share and generating revenue. Yes? Yes. Now, so you won't believe, check this out. You won't believe the real method to be the car dealer, right? What's the next one down say? The secrets, right? You love something that says the secrets. What's the secrets? The secrets. The secrets the car dealers don't want you to know, right? Top 11 ways to be the car dealer and get the best price on the new car. Car dealer tricks, right? Because they all think that we're playing car dealer tricks, right? And you should look on the clicks. Listen, all a customer ever has to do is put something like that in the headline, and people are going to click on it. And when they click on these videos and they watch these videos, customers take this stuff to be the gospel. Would you agree? They take it to be the gospel. Like when a customer posts a video like this, I have never seen a customer once in the comment section say, well, really, did you really go into that dealership and did you really ask for a certain price and they bumped the price up on you when you went in, right? I've never heard a customer ask for clarification because they agreed with these videos. And mind you, there's 1.6 million of them. That means these customers got time on their hands, right, to bash us, right? Now, here's one from a few months ago. How to get a good deal at the car dealership in 2018, right? Now, read what's underlined. 5 tips and tricks to be a car dealer and avoid getting scammed. Avoid getting scammed. So this is the information that's out there in the car market right now. And we wonder why it's hard for us to make profits. It's because of this. It's because of this, and there's too little dealerships out there. There's not enough dealerships out there promoting the good that the car dealerships do. Would you agree? Yes. Because the car dealership saves lives. It's a gift. But unfortunately, the rest of the world don't know. The only people know that the car dealership, the car business is a gift are the people in this group. Would you agree? We need to spread the word, right? Everybody else is spreading the word about all the other stuff. We need to spread the word too. And check this out. I wanted you to see this. Check this out. So even the car dealerships are getting into it, right? It's kind of like that if we can't beat them, join them type deal. But even the car dealerships are getting into it. So this lady right here, I don't know who, in all fairness, if one of you guys in here know this lady or a vendor knows this lady, I don't. I just looked it up. And it's a lady who works at that Subaru in my hometown in Atlanta. Right? And notice, I want you guys to notice the title. Dealer Dirty Tricks. Anybody see that? Dealer Dirty Tricks. You guys see that? Where it's written? Sounds like a rap video, don't it? Dealer Dirty Tricks. Right? Like, when I saw this, I had to go grab my wife and be like, babe, come here for a second. Look at this video. She's like, what, babe? I said, look, it's Dealer Dirty Tricks. Right? I mean, come on with it. Dealer Dirty Tricks. I'm gonna have y'all saying that after this. So, we have advertising bombarding the commercials as well. So back in the day, they used to advertise in the newspaper, classified ads. You'd see stuff like this, okay? But now you've got this on commercials, and you've got this as banners. Whenever you're jumping on the internet, whenever some of you guys are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you're at, you'll see these banners. The lowest price guaranteed. The low price guarantee. best price guarantee. Or my favorite, best price on a new Chevy or it's free, right? So they're like, yo, we're going to beat all of your prices or we're going to give away a car, right? So what we have to do is, since we know what the problem is, and ADA data shows dealer profits are eroding, okay? Now, remember, every graph that I showed you about the trend year over year, about the graph year over year, all of those included F&I, right? This graph right here does not include F&I. It does not, right? Now, this looks like somebody's going straight down a ski slope. We good? Okay. So here's what I know. Every one of us are in the automotive industry to make revenue. That's all. That's why we are here. None of us are doing it for free. None of us are doing it for charity, okay? So again, every problem that we have is a knowing problem or a doing problem, okay? So since we know what the problem is, now it's time to do the solution. And here's my solution. This is what I teach dealers all over the country, is that since we know what we're combating, it's time to lean on the revenue department. Who knows what the revenue department is? The revenue department, say it again, dog. F&I. Come on with it. The revenue department in your store is the F&I department. Did you guys know that? How many agree? Yeah. It is the F&I department. Listen to me. It is how we are measured. It is how we are measured in our store. Our success is measured in revenue, right? How many of you are GMs, sales managers, or dealer principals in this room? Raise your hand. Okay. So, listen. Whenever Johnny, the finance manager, gets done doing a customer, gets done doing a deal, right? When Johnny gets done doing a deal, and Johnny pages Tom to come and grab that customer, and Johnny walks out to the showroom, right? And he sees you, what's the first question you ask him? How'd you do on that deal? Hey, how'd you do? Did you make some money? How'd you do on that deal? We are measured in revenue. Our success in F&I is measured in revenue. It's not measured in appointments. It's not measured in car sales. It is measured in revenue. So if we're going to eat up market share in our store, then the stores need to lean on the revenue department to do so. F&I managers are the most highly trained managers in a store. How many of you guys have ever done F&I? Raise your hand. Okay, so when you've done F&I, when you're promoted into F&I, the first place they send you is the school, yes or no? The most highly trained managers in your store. They don't do that for desk managers. I've not seen schools besides Jonathan's that help desk managers, right? They don't do that. Well, some do when you become a GM or an owner. But as far as managers in your store, F&I is the most trained manager that you have. They are the best salesperson now. They're not the most important salesperson, so don't get it twisted, but they are the best. Why? Because we're selling things that are invisible. We're selling intangibles, okay? And we're the best closer in the store. Why? Because we deal with 100% rejection. For those of you who have been in F&I before, you know we have dealt with 100% rejection. No customer comes into our dealership to see us. They all come into that store to buy that Cruise, to buy that Tahoe, right? To buy that Explorer. This is why they showed up to the store. This is why they set the appointment with the Internet BDC department. This is why they came into the store. This is why they test drive it, right? Because all the research that they saw before they ever got to the store, they loved that product. So they came to that store to buy that product, but not one of them came to the store and said, hey, man, where's that F&I manager at? Where's that F&I department at? Hey, can I get a little bit of that gap? Hey, can I get a little bit of that key replacement, that thing, that service con? Not one, right? As a matter of fact, they did quite the opposite. All customers walk into a store ready to object, ready to resist, and tell us what they don't want. Why? Because they all think that F&I departments, that all we're doing is making money on them, when in fact we're protecting them, right? While we're making money, right? So it is the revenue department. Now, the F&I department also generates double, if not triple, the amount of revenue on the back end as they do on the front end, and they do it in a third of the time. It's the revenue department. Now, if what I described in the last slide does not reflect your F&I department in your store, then I need for you, dealer principals and GMs, to push them to get there. If they're not the strongest closers or the best salespeople in your store, you need to push them to get there. Why? Because of all the adversity that we're facing on the internet and all the competition, right? All the bashing that's happening on YouTube, we need to have the ability to lean on that department, right or wrong. Do whatever it takes to get that type of F&I department in your store. The strength of the F&I department is the strength of the dealership in your marketplace. It just simply is. So when I'm going into stores across the country, I'm showing them how they're going to eat up. I'm showing them an immediate way of how to eat up market share in their market. Now that's why you guys are here. You guys are here to figure out how to drive traffic to your store. Yes or no? Because when the traffic gets to your store, you feel like, hey, I can sell that customer, I can close them, right? So this is a surefire way to help you eat up market share in your region, in your market. Lean on the department that's going to allow you to do that. A strong F&I department allows the salespeople to compete with their competition. How? How do we do that? Because we allow the front end to take short deals at this time. Hell, we even allow the front end to take loser deals sometimes. Why? Because if you have an F&I department that you're confident in, that you know can make up the revenue on the back end, would you take a short deal, yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely. Hey, some of you guys take short deals and aren't even confident in your F&I department, right or wrong? Just to get that car deal, especially at the end of the month. So imagine if you had a super strong F&I department that you knew that you didn't have to help, that you knew that you could quote payments to the penny, that you knew that regardless if it's a lease or a cash deal, that you knew if they were going to, whatever type of deal they got, they were going to generate revenue. Imagine the type of deals you would put together at that point. Right? A mediocre F&I department costs the company revenue. They cost you revenue. How do they cost you revenue? In lost car deals. They cost the salespeople commission. Why? Because the salespeople can't take every deal that comes in. Right? And I remember selling cars. How many of you sold cars on the showroom floor? Show of hands. So I remember selling cars. And I remember the feeling of selling, man. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember the feeling of selling cars. I remember being as happy when I made a $500 commission as when I made a flat. Is when I made a mini. I was like, yeah, I sold a car. There's just something about it. Would you agree? There's just something about it. There's no feeling like, hey, I have to go to work. I got to sell cars in order to pay the rent. So when you sell a car, whether you high grossed them or whether you made a mini, you're like, yeah, I sold one. So it costs the salesperson commission on lost deals because these salespeople can't compete with the people who have strong F&I departments. So the dealerships with strong F&I departments are taking any kind of deal, thus giving their salespeople car deals. Okay? And listen to me. If your dealership can't take deals like a dealership with strong F&I department, then that mediocre F&I department will influence turnover in your store. How? Because a salesperson ain't going to stay when they can't sell cars. Would you agree? Yep. They're not going to stay when they can't sell cars. Now, a powerful F&I department generates revenue in the hardest circumstance. What do I mean by that? In some of your stores, we have bad reputations. Prima donnas, right? We're the department that dealerships don't know the least about, right? Why? Because F&I managers like to have help from the front end, right? Some of you guys probably interact with the F&I manager sometime and they say, hey, why did you let that customer leave and go get a check? Well, hey, why don't you plant the seed for this product? Hey, why don't you leave me room in the payment, right? A little bit of rate spread, whatever, right? However, a great F&I manager can generate revenue in the hardest circumstance, meaning no matter what type of payment you send back to us, no matter what type of deal it is, we can generate revenue. Why? Because that's priority number one. Priority number one. They make the dealership more profitable on every deal. Why? Through skill set. You have to have skill set to do this. Unfortunately, there's a plethora. This is what makes me the #1 F&I trainer in the game. There's a plethora of information that is being taught to F&I managers that is mediocre. Trust me, I've been to all of them. I know what they teach. Heck, you can go on YouTube and find 17,000 variations of a menu presentation. Have any of you ever tried? Just go on YouTube and type in F&I. You're going to see all the mediocrity that happens in dealerships. And guess what? That's on YouTube. I see it in dealerships every single day. Right? These F&I managers have to skill up. Us as an F&I department have to skill up. We have to represent. We have to help the front end, the showroom, the BDC. We have to allow you to lean on us. A strong F&I department allows the desk to take small or even loser deals. It empowers the dealership. Listen, read this. It empowers the dealership to gain market share. It empowers the dealership to eat up market share, meaning when you have that hard customer, when you have that customer that tells you what they're not going to do, when you have that customer that tells you the 19 places that they've talked about what this dealership is going to do for them, it allows you to beat your competition. Would you agree? Why? Because you know that your F&I department is going to step up for you. It creates a happy sales associate who can heat up their sales and get commissions on deals every single day throughout a month. Utilize the skill set of your F&I managers throughout your store to get more deals. Lean on them. And like I said, if you feel like you can't, dealer principals and GMs, I need you to push them. I need you to push them to the next level. Right? Because this is why you are here. We are all here to get to the next level. Yes or no?
Yes. That's right.
So I need you to push the revenue departments so that you can depend on them. You need to go back to your stores Thursday or Wednesday evening and say, hey, listen, I came from that conference and I need y'all to step up. This is how we're going to eat up market share. Not only are we going to drive more traffic to our stores through utilizing the internet BDC, not only are we going to close more deals, but listen to me, F&I department, I need for you guys to help me eat up market share. Allow them to work deals at the desk. How many of your F&I managers get up and come out and help you guys work deals? Raise your hand. Very little. See, I got my man right here for very little. My man back there. Couple. Good for you guys. We need some more like your team. All of my stores, every one of them up out of your office. I better not walk into one of my dealerships and see an F&I manager back there playing Game of Thrones. I better not see them. Angry Birds, come on. They better be up there helping you guys work car deals, okay? And they better be up there helping you guys work car deals during the negotiation, okay? How many of you are a one-price store? Raise your hand. So most of you negotiate. The F&I department needs to be involved early, okay? I want F&I managers involved in deals as early as possible. In my stores, in some of my stores, I would even have the F&I manager greet the customer and turn them over to a salesperson. That's how early I wanted them involved. Because my theory is, why wouldn't you want to have the strongest salesperson and the strongest closer involved in that deal early? Why wouldn't you? Right? Help the BDC and internet. Help the BDC with internet deals and follow up with leads. I had F&I managers calling customers, following up with customers, talking to them, trying to set appointments with customers. Why not? Most of our stores are not utilizing the F&I department in this manner. However, most of your F&I people have come from the sales department, yes or no? Yes. So they have done this. This is how they got promoted. We got to lean on them, y'all. We need you to lean on them. And have them help in the daily training of sales staff. Raise your hand if your F&I managers get involved in your sales training. Just a couple. Just a couple. I need for you guys to allow the F&I managers or even push the F&I managers to get involved in the sales training in your stores. Have them, hey, when you go back to your store, hey, I was talking to Shaka Dyson and he said to get y'all involved. On Saturdays, I need them to speak in your sales training. On Mondays, when you're training sales staff, I need them to take part. On Wednesdays, or whenever you have them, I need for you to make sure that you have F&I involved in this sales training. How many of you guys can do this? Because I'm leaning on you. I'm leaning on you, okay? Raise your hand if you guys can make these adjustments in your store. That's what I'm talking about. Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas. See, when I said raise your hand if you can make the adjustments in your store, I was hoping to see everybody do it. Why? Because people like him inspire me. He said, if you want to succeed, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you'll be successful. How many of you guys have ever heard of Eric Thomas? Come on. Now, I know that you heard of this next guy. This next guy said the price of admission to success is if you can't, then you must. That means if you can't do something, when people in your store tell you something is impossible, when you believe that something is impossible in your life, Tony is saying the price of that admission to that success is if you can't, then guess what? You must. When I was poor and living in poverty, there's things that I had to do. I had to grind. I had to push it to success. I had to push the success. It became a must for me. And whatever becomes a must for you in your life, that's what you'll be good at. How many agree?
Amen.
Since we know the problem, now it's time to do the solution. My name is Shaka Dyson. Follow me. Thank you guys.